Hello! Hi!
Hi, magandang hapon.
Yes, magandang hapon. Ako lang ba yun? O yung intro na countdown was like, biglang nawala sa beat yung isang part. So I was like,
Hindi, okay lang.
yes.
Lang.
Okay, baka ako, sa computer ko lang yun. But, hello, we are back. Na-miss ko kayong tatlo. I mean, na-miss ko kayong dalawa. Na-miss ko yung tayong tatlo na Ménage at Trois. And today, we do have a book review of Tuesdays with Morrie. But before that, magpapakilala ulit kami. Ako si Julie. And on my other side is,
Pow!
and below us is,
And I'm Sky.
Hi.
And we
Yeah.
are
Ménage at Trois. So,
welcome back, everyone.
sana napanood nyo rin yung mga podcast sessions namin before. And today, first time namin to ever in our whole lives to do a book review. And I hope na makatulong rin kami, mabuksan yung mga pag-iisip ng mga tao, but at the same time, spread good vibes and normalize cannabis. Cannabis is medicine. All right? So, guys, ano yung sa Tuesdays with Morrie, ano yung profession ni Morrie?
Teacher.
Yes.
Yes, Pao.
Ano siya, sociology teacher.
Yes, social psychology nga yung topic niya and more on human relations yung tinuturo niya sa mga estudyante niya. So, college professor ni Mitch Albom, correct? The writer.
Yes.
So, here's
He's
the
the
book.
author of the book, yes.
Yeah. Si Morrie. And you know what, guys? Nasa Amerika ako, pero yung libro ko galing National Bookstore pa. So, yes, galing pa sa Pilipinas.
National Bookstore.
Yeah, thank you, National Bookstore. And dahil ang topic na tinuturo ni Morrie, ay social psychology, that involves, of course, yung how people relate to other human beings, correct? And because of that, nagkaroon nga lang siya ng sakit along the way because of probably old age also. And ano yung sakit niya na nagkaroon siya?
So he had ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or Lou Gehrig's disease. It's actually a nervous system problem. So yung mga connections natin yung mga nerves natin sa katawan, nawawala na sila. So si Morrie when you read the book, nawalan talaga siya ng capabilities gumalaw, yung paglakad niya ang unang naapektuhan.
Yung parang nagde-dead na lang yung muscles niya, correct?
Yeah, nag-wasting talaga siya.
Humihina slowly, tapos it penetrates basically your whole body until parang paralyzed ka na. Until your lung couldn't move anymore.
Pataas siya yung progression nung sakit sa legs pa akyat.
Yes.
So yeah. So nagkaroon ng sakit si Morrie. And si Mitch, when he was in college, they had a very good relationship with Morrie, with his professor, whom he calls coach. So yung after niya mag-college, of course, I think naranasan din natin yan. We got so busy with our lives na hindi na tayo nag-contact kung sino man yung favorite professor natin or even a blockmate or a classmate na we used to be so close. Nawawala din kasi life happens, we got busy with work and all that. So yun ang nangyari sa kanila until na makita ni Mitch na nasa TV si Morrie. They were showing him on TV and then pinipicture yung what's happening to him. Basically because he's dying. So they want to the media kind of wants to document that part and how he's handling ALS. Yeah, so ano ba yung mga sinasabi ni Morrie dito? Sabi ni Morrie, yung gusto niya sana is not sympathy. Treat him not with sympathy, but with visits, phone calls, and sharing, etc. So, have you ever done that also with a friend na imbes na uy, kawawa ka naman, ganyan-ganyan. Or like, masyado ring nakaka-add sa self-pity siguro ng tao yun pag you keep adding to that too. But if you show connectedness, diba? When you visit someone, it's much more personal also. And then phone calls, if you spend time talaga that you're on a phone call. And he was also saying na a lot of people, doon na lang nilang sinasabi yung gusto nilang sabihin sa tao pag patay na yung tao.
Oo.
Yeah.
Diba?
Mm.
So, he was emphasizing on that. And good realization din kasi sa totoo lang, we don't know when we're gonna die.
Mhm.
Right?
Oo.
So, with that knowing, death teaches you na parang your soul, you should live. Alam mo yon, like,
Live your life
do it
every day.
now, don't wait, na parang be authentic to yourself, show human kindness, kasi yun yung basically mga tinuturo niya.
Mhm.
So, moving forward to that, si Morrie, his condition also helped him realize daw humility and dependency on others. Like, in a sense na, kasi, of course, lahat na he's dependent on other people to take care of him, it kind of shows you or it kind of makes you humble din. Kasi alam mo na kailangan mo nga ng ibang tao around you, a good support system, good people who really show you kindness, who cares for you truly. And yun ang hindi daw maibibigay ng kahit na magtrabaho ka at may pera ka, or, you focus on the wrong things. Can you state example nga na minsan, of course, kasi tao rin tayo, we're guilty sometimes that we get so busy with ourselves. What do you think yung minsan na nakaranas na ba kayo na you have experience na you're spending so much time on something tapos hindi naman pala talaga siya that important in your
Useful.
life? Yeah.
I guess with Morrie, he accepted his condition very openly.
Yes.
I think yun yung pinaka talagang his character really showed na he knows he was dying, and yung kanyang attitude towards death, hindi siya in denial. Yes, may self-pity siya. He's mentioned it in the book na, but he doesn't let the self-pity take over his
Tama
day.
ka. Because he can let
He gives
go.
morning. Yeah, he takes 5 minutes of his morning. He cries about it. He cries about his condition, and then he moves on and into something more productive.
Yes.
And at some point, he mentioned something about na when he was in his death, when he is already dying already. He said na in his mind, he never said, I should have done more research, I should have done more accomplishments. Ang talagang finokus niya is, I have to, what I need now is connectivity.
Yes.
And
Yun
I think
talaga
at the
yung
end of the
in-emphasize niya.
life,
Yes.
being around the people he loves talaga.
Yes. And he also stated there kasi that our culture is also making us think na buy this, buy that, more is good. People make people they feed people with materialistic things to satisfy their needs. But in the end of it all, he also said na you make your own culture. You have to be mindful of what's truly valuable for you. Kasi hindi naman na you're parang don't chase the wrong things, kumbaga.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Kasi yung gusto ko sa kanya is yung sinabi niya na parang yung create your own culture, kumbaga.
Yes, create
Parang,
your own culture.
Yeah, create your own culture. It's okay to obey certain things. Diba? May mga sinabi siyang examples doon. And then, pero don't let other things dictate what you want to do for yourself. Like, for example, society, yung mga sinasabi ng family mo, ng friends mo. Kasi yung gusto ko sa character ni Morrie is he takes time. Parang ano siya, very, ano mo yun, talagang discernment siya na ina-allow niyang i-absorb lahat yung emotions, yung situation him. Kaya parang doon siya kumukuha ng lakas, and from that process, mas nakikilala niya talaga yung sarili niya, nakikilala niya yung limitations niya. So yun, yung parang acknowledging all the emotions na parang maganda nga yung sinabi niya at one point dun sa book na parang okay, iiyak na ako, okay, ito yung pain. O sige, tapos na ako dyan, marami pa namang iba pang emotions na gusto kong my
Totoo.
experience,
You can,
diba?
you, parang you choose your energy also.
Yeah.
And also, the only way nga to let go of big emotions like that, kunyari, like self-pity or anything else na you want to let go of, is you dive yourself into it, you feel it, you recognize it, so that when you already know what it really feels, then, don't fear it, kumbaga, don't run from it. That emotion, you have to dive deep to it, because that's the only way that you can say na, I know what emotion, I know anxiety, I know anger. Then, okay, I have to let it go, because that's the only way that you can fully let it go too, because you recognize it very well.
Mm-mm.
And
Yeah.
I think I've been experiencing that this week. Na
Oh, share.
it's very good to actually identify feelings, so you
Yes.
know how to address it. You know,
Exactly.
because this anger, anxiety, depression, sadness, these are just signals of something underlying.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if Maury has such a good character,
Yeah.
that yung lumalabas sa kanya puro kabutihan, puro kindness, attention to
So,
others, love, understanding, family. You know, it really shows who you
everything,
are.
all his values are directed to improving for the better talaga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And that's true kasi even with death, he knows how to let it go by
Yeah.
accepting it fully. Kumbaga,
Yes.
sinabi niya pa nga doon na yung dependency, of course, there's a downside to it na may malulungkot siya na hindi na siya nakapag-swimming or what, iba na, di ba? Like the young ones. Pero, he also knows how to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to look at always the silver lining of things.
Yeah.
He still knows how to be thankful kasi sinasabi niya, at least ako, surrounded ako ng family ko, ng mahal ko sa buhay, and enjoy ko na lang yung dependency ko, 'di ba? Parang gano'n,
Yeah.
may sinabi pa siyang gano'n.
And
Oh,
I guess being around sick people all the time in my profession,
Yeah.
like just being unable. Kasi yun ang unang nawala sa kanya yung kanyang paglalakad, 'di ba, sa
Yes.
kanyang sakit. So nakaupo na lang siya sa wheelchair. Yung sabi ni Morrie, sabi niya, yung pinaka time na he feels like he lost all control is when somebody starts to wipe his
Yeah,
bottom,
yeah,
'di ba?
yeah.
Sabi
Mm.
niya, yun ang talaga yung bottom ko is when somebody starts to wipe my butt.
Talagang dependent na siya nun. But then at the same time,
Yeah,
you
and
know,
I don't and it's putting yourself in the shoes of Morrie.
yeah.
Nawalan ka ng paglalakad, nawalan ka ng at some point nawala na yung paglunguya niya, tsaka
Yeah.
paglunok niya.
And you
And
know
then
how he
the
viewed it?
functions. And how do you cope with being
He even
disabled?
viewed it in a sense na parang, oh, now I know how it feels like to be a baby
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
In that
Just
kind
like
of
adding
way.
food
He
towards
was like, I'm just gonna
everything.
enjoy feeling like a baby again.
yun
Yeah.
nga yung maganda sa kanya eh. Kasi yung childhood naman niya, hindi naman masaya, di ba?
Mm.
Pero yung choice niya
Mindset
is
niya.
Yeah.
to become better. And
Yes.
hindi siya nagkaroon ng sama ng loob, hindi siya naging masamang tao. Alam mo yun, parang hindi siya naghigante. There was no vengeance, there was no like stubbornness sa kanya. Parang kumbaga sinabi niya sa sarili niya na, kapag ako nagkaanak, magiging affectionate ako sa magiging anak ko. Kasi yung mga ibang tao, opposite yung mangyayari, 'di ba? Pero siya hindi. Talagang parang gusto niyang iparamdam sa ibang tao yung opposite na naranasan niya.
Yes.
Maganda.
And aside pa dun kasi is yung values niya is aligned, talagang connected sa perception niya ng kabutihan. And very connected siya sa love. Actually, love, compassion, empathy, those things cannot thrive with you alone. You share it with other people. And with regards to that also, I hear people say, sometimes people say that love is an irrational act and all that. But Maury said love is the only rational act. And I've thought about it. I was like, because I do hear other people say, or tell me like love makes you irrational and all that stuff. But knowing what Maury's perception is that love is the only rational act, I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. Because if you really perceive love as something that is good talaga, pure kindness talaga, compassion, empathy, all the good values combined into one word, which is love. It is the only rational act to have a peaceful, more an environment that really thrives with honesty, full of those positives, values doon. Yun, 'di ba? I mean, kung lahat tayo ganun, of course that would be a perfect world. Kumbaga, the
Kumbaga,
love is the only rational act also to heal.
yeah, kung sana yun lang yung ultimate language ng bawat isa, which is love. And alam mo yun, parang mas maganda sana yung communication natin lahat.
Yes. But, depende rin yan sa tao kung ano yung perception nila ng love. Kasi itong libro ni Morrie, yung pagkaintindi niya and how he explains love is so pure, walang bahid ng any um, kasamaan sa loob niya. And inaccept niya kasi it's more on like he knows how to detach himself too. He mentioned the importance of detachment. And I agree because, not lahat tayong tao, nagkakamali rin naman tayo at some point eh. But the first thing is you forgive yourself, di ba? Forgive others. And you recognize that emotion, you sink to it. And then you detach yourself to it. Di ba? Because that's also part of your growth, na in a sense na hindi ka nagki-cling to any emotion that's also um not good for you, but you need to process that and let it go.
Yeah, kasi kung malungkot ka, okay, fine. Like no one could argue with your emotions kasi entitled ka naman sa emotions mo, 'di ba? Pero kung lagi kang naka-hang on doon sa sadness, sa pain, talagang parang malulunod ka dun sa emotion na yun. So like letting it go, like recognizing that particular emotion,
Yeah.
anuhin mo, i-let go mo para move on din kahit papaano. So I mean, I know mahirap gawin kasi maski ako napagdaanan ko din naman 'yan. Na-depressed din ako for like more than 6 months, like
Yes, yes.
6, 7 years ago. Talagang ang hirap. Ang hirap na parang to pull yourself together, to actually talk to yourself. Ang hirap no'n. Kaya
Yeah.
pero ano lang talaga siya, parang kailangan mo talagang i-ingrain sa utak mo na tama na, let go na, alam mo yun, then try to focus yourself on other things. So, I
Yeah.
guess yun yung isa sa mga point din ni Morrie.
Guys, may tanong pala ako because Morrie also said this to Mitch, but I want to get your opinion on the matter. They say that the truth is, if you really listen, if you accept that you can die at any time, then you might not be as ambitious as you are. Sabi ni Morrie kay Mitch. And then he said that the things you spend so much time on, all this work you do, might not seem as important. You might have to make room for some more spiritual things.
Yeah.
There. I want to get your input on that one.
Mm-mm.
I think people should just come to terms that everybody dies. I think everybody's scared to talk about death. People are so avoidant of death. Like people cling on to
Sabi
their
ko,
life
ayaw nila.
for their
Oo.
dear lives very, very, very much, that they lose the importance of living. If you're too focused on your career, too focused on, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm just
Yeah.
saying is, and your deathbed, who is going to be around you? You're going to be in your deathbed. Are you going to have your medals, your trophies, your accomplishments? And if that's how you
Yeah.
want to go, then good for you. But Maury decided he decided to invest in people.
Yeah. This
As he
connection
had his
is,
career,
yeah.
yeah, so his career was really enriching students, really touching the lives of people, being kind. So at the end of his life, ang daming taong pupunta sa kanya, as in nagpapa-counseling pa din, nagpapa-interview pa din, until the end of his life.
Kasi
Which
para
he's
rin sa
who
kanya,
they
di
were.
ba? Yung end of his life, it's not really the end. He said, as long as people feel me, they know the love for me still exists. parang alam niyo yung Coco na Pixar, 'di ba parang gano'n yung kind of theme nila sa mga patay na as long as someone loves them, remembers
remembers
them,
you,
talks
and
about
yeah,
them, they're still alive also, something
yes.
like that.
Ah,
And na ang ganda lang nung ano, nung point niya na yon. And I love it also when he emphasized spiritual things. Kasi spiritual things is not really about religion and all that. It's how you connect yourself to the mystical, to things that you just kumbaga
lang.
yeah, to the nature around you, to life itself. Like everyone goes through different challenges in life, but basically when your spirit is strong and you know that na alam mo na yung choices mo is for the good of, you know, like na alam mo pure yung intentions mo, you get what I mean?
Ah,
So yung things like that na yung spirit mo, it kind of also helps you get over those struggles.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, like, sorry, may nakita kasi akong comment also.
ah,
J Review said, how you handle challenges defines you. So basically, parang ganun din yung sa perception ko sa spirit mo, di ba? Kasi yun yung parang fighting spirit. Yung ganun, di ba? Yun naman.
Yeah.
And guys, I just noticed that I just checked kasi the comment section. Can we say hi to them muna? Yeah.
oh, ang
Hi.
dami.
Yes.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Yeah,
morning,
unahin natin.
Philippines!
Good morning,
Magandang
Dave.
Sunday
Yes.
sa inyo.
Good morning, George. Yes. Ito naman si Kuya Ed. I miss you guys. Yeah, we miss you too, Kuya. Sayang hindi mo pa na-meet si Paula the last time you were here, but hopefully next time. Yes. And then si Alexis Romero. Morning, mga magagandang ate. Salamat.
Alexia Romero.
Also, George Jung. Nice topic. Akma sa akin. Paralyzed ako. Ay, spinal cord.
Oh, sorry to hear that,
Yeah, sorry
George.
to hear that. But sana, basahin mo rin si Stays with Morrie. Wala lang. Ganda niya kasi, di ba? Na book. And I just wish na you're surrounded with loving people, family, friends who love you. And yeah. Also, hello, Mel Valdez. Hola. Yes. Hi, Mel. Hi, Arte Marte. Girl power. Yes, you are right. Yeah. Life is short, really
That's
short.
right.
J reviews. That is true. That is so true. Because when I still remember when I was a kid, I still remember my childhood. But now when I look at my parents, ang laki na talaga ng na-age nila na parang, oh my gosh. But at the same time, love can keep us alive. J reviews. Make sure you let your loved ones know that you love them. Yeah.
Because you never know what tomorrow brings.
You are right. Yes. Tuesdays with Morrie.
Ito.
Pabili ako. Ito. Yeah. Ito sa National Bookstore. Yeah.
Starring Amazon.
Yeah. And then sabi ni RJ, good morning, Glory po sa inyo. Pa-shout out na din from Ildefonso, Bulacan. Hello.
Ay, di ba dyan yung masarap na chicharon?
Ay, masarap ba chicharon? Share naman, chicharon. And then ewan ko yung bakit may you have sent 1,800 Gcash. Wala, hindi ko alam yan. Scam ka, guys.
May scam na tayo, guys.
Wala. Shout out, Lauren.
Kalaki, may spam na tayo.
Yes.
We're famous.
But sabi ni Ate Martel, life goes on but with a heart. So yes, continue loving. And think positive vibes, sabi ni George. But nawala siya. Ayan.
Kasi totoo naman na parang yung mga maliliit na bagay, kapag pinansin mo at nakakatuwa, nakaka-uplift ng mood.
Oo. You choose na your energy.
And there's another flip side to that. Like, small things can get us pissed the whole day, you know? Right?
But it really depends on how you approach things.
It depends on what you focus your energies on, guys.
Yes. Guys, I just would like to say hi to Jackie. Hello, Jackie. Good morning, girls daw.
Good morning, Jackie.
Si Ichibong, actually, for me, there's no such thing as move on. I think moving forward, yes.
Yes.
I agree with you. Moving forward, moving on, there are just, people are just irreplaceable in a sense that, everyone's unique in their own way. So, yeah, you move forward lang when you leave behind people.
Yeah.
Cool experiences. Yeah.
Tsaka kung ano man yung pinagdadaanan nating lahat or kung sino mang ano natin, daanan nyo lang.
Yeah. Ganyan sambayan. Or
Bye!
sambay kayo. Sama nyo kami
Tambay
para
lang.
tawa na lang tayo. Tapos,
Oo,
hilahin na natin. Halika na, halika na.
daanan nyo lang yan.
Yes.
Ah,
Sabi ni RJ, yo. Yo. Okay, yo.
yo.
Alright. Sabi naman ni Morrie, dahil nga sa kondisyon niya, guys, nakakaramdam pa rin nga daw siya ng envy. I still envy young people, sabi niya. Because I see that they can do things that I can't do. But, I'll just reiterate this part again. But when envy comes, he feels it, and then he really gets to know it, and then he detaches himself from it, diba? And, parang yun, madali na lang sa kanya mag-walk away because part yun is acceptance din na ito na yun, okay, normal na naramdaman ko to, but now it's time to focus your energy on something else. But
Yeah.
you learn from that, diba? Every emotion is a learning experience, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Morrie mentioned, like on his tombstone,
Mhm.
he wanted to put teacher until the end.
Yeah.
Like he really wanted to show the dying process, the process of dying, which you lose your dignity, you lose your privacy, you lose independence. I think that's the number one thing that's really painful when it comes to disability. Yung
Yes.
hindi ka na maka-decide ng sa sarili mo, may iba na nagde-decide para sa'yo. And losing control of your bodily functions, I think is one of the hardest things going through illnesses like Morrie.
Yes. But he still finds joy in every situation somehow, no? But I just, ang ganda lang ng lesson na pinaparating niya sa atin. And meron siyang sinabi based on his beliefs, finding a meaningful life means to devote yourself to loving others, to your community, to devote yourself to loving your community around you, and creating something that gives you purpose and meaning.
That's right.
Yeah, kasi parang yung focus mo wala sa sarili mo eh. Kapag ginawa mo yon parang magiging talagang selfless ka and hindi ka yung parang kailangan ko to gawin, busy ako. Ay, puro ikaw yung iniisip mo sa sarili mo. But if you devote yourself to other sa mga iba't ibang bagay, then parang mas magkakaroon ka ng yun nga, meaningful life. Like, mas magiging magaang yung araw mo.
Yeah.
And he did say that
there's a lot of things of just finding your purpose. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're I guess you're here for a reason. And going back to what Julie mentioned about spirituality, like how do you actually keep your spirit healthy? Kasi parang we have bodily health, we have mental health,
Yes.
we have how about spiritual health?
Yes.
Do you guys
That's
have
most important.
any rituals you do to keep yourself positive, to keep yourself having a good spirit, good
I always,
vibes?
try to have a thankful approach on things. Especially pag nato-toxic ako and then, the toxic, negative stuff is kinda like masakit na sa ulo. You go back kasi to, to being grateful on things that as simple as we're blessed na wala tayong any sickness and all that. As simple as my family is, well,
Healthy and okay, yeah.
yes, I go back to that. But si Morrie din kasi, which I also really love this, he said, do the kind things that come from the heart. So, diba, I guess yun, I go back to what's truly important, which is
Basics.
the basics, and
Mhm.
also I act I act based on the pureness of my intentions, of the kindness of my heart. So yun, parang it helps me. How about you guys? Yeah.
Um, ako, kapag ano lang, tahimik lang ako, tina-turn off ko yung social media ko.
That's great.
Yeah,
Give yourself
tina-turn off,
time. Yeah.
tina-turn off ko yung social media ko. Punta akong church, upo lang ako doon. Or kapag hindi sa church, YouTube lang, kikinig lang ako ng mass. Tsaka ano lang, gagawin ko lahat, bawa, busit na busit ako, tapos parang nalulungkot ako. Gagawin ko talaga yung kung ano yung naisip kong gawin or gusto kong kainin. Kasi ako non-dairy diet ako, di ba? Masabi, ay hindi, kakain ako itlog ngayon.
Ice cream. Akala ko ice cream.
Kaya, ay hindi, ayun, ice cream. Hindi, ano, alam mo yung para lang ma-regain ko yung joy
Yes.
sa sarili ko. Kasi ako rin iniisip ko na parang dapat kapag nalulungkot ako, or if I also tell my friends na, oh, if you feel sad or if you feel little down, make sure you eat your soul food. Kung ano talaga yung kasi kapag pinapakain mo yung kaluluwa mo nun eh.
Yeah.
Ewan ko, ganun lang ako mag-isip. Kapag, ano ba talaga yung gusto mong kainin? Yun yung kainin mo kahit bawal sa'yo. Kasi yun yung parang, kumbaga, alam mo yung first step of,
So comforting. It's just so comforting.
Oo.
Yeah,
Comfort food.
Yeah.
So, ako, ganun na ako.
It
Pero
helps.
first na ginagawa ko talaga, turn off ko social media ko.
But for me, that's such a good point to make.
Mm-mm.
For me, when I feel drained, ako talaga, I think we have to also stress rest. Resting is very important. I think in our society nowadays, we're so engrossed of doing something. We're so engrossed of being somewhere, posting something.
We're always in a hurry then.
Like, always in a hurry. So and then we get drained because we don't think of ourselves. Like, we don't think of the moment anymore.
Yes.
We think of what's tomorrow, what's next week, So for me, I really take time to rest. Talagang kung kailangan ko mag-day off, magde-day off talaga ako para magpahinga lang. Kasi kailangan mo yun eh. Kailangan natin magpahinga yung ating katawan, yung ating pag-iisip, yung ating, staying away from your phone for a little bit. Kasi it causes a lot of drama and noise.
And he even the book stated that if you're too fatigued, you can't give people the right attention.
That's right.
So take time to rest. And kasi in order for us to really be fully present is to really pay attention.
That's right.
Diba? When someone's talking to you, did you ever experience that, oh my gosh, ang dami mong thoughts, and then you're like, yeah, diba? But then you're not fully present. All of us probably are guilty na nangyayari yan sa atin because we're living we feel like we're always in a hurry at some point in our lives. But it's really, really good for us to take a rest, pay attention 100% to what's around you, because that will also give you a lot of reasons to be thankful for as well. Pay attention. Yes.
I feel like rest will actually make you go further in life. It will give you that time to reset for the next challenge next week or tomorrow. And going back on that, see, the thing about Morrie is he gives his 100% attention to all his students.
Yeah.
Yun talaga yung pinakamaganda na he really listens. And I think we need to listen more to other people. Like, we need to talk less and listen more, so that, because we're so used to, in our conversations, we're so used to just we listen to respond. We don't listen just to
understand
listen.
or just to process.
To understand, to really kasi we're so easy to judge then, like, oh, ito yung problema mo, oh, ito gawin mo to A, B, and C. But sometimes people don't want anything from you. Like, just shut up and just listen to what I have to say, and that's what yung therapy nila, mag-rant lang sila and go on.
That's true. Because some people lang, they just want to feel that they matter. Diba? And
we see them.
Yes. And Ate Marta said, love yourself. Ate, that's very good, because you cannot love others if you don't know how to love yourself. You cannot forgive others if you do not know how to forgive yourself first. And love nga, if we're basing it with all the good values in life, if you apply that to yourself, love yourself in a sense that know what is good for you. Be kind to yourself. Talk kindly to yourself.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. If someone is disrespecting you, put a boundary there. Because if like there's just so much things that we can take
Mhm.
on a daily basis. So loving ourselves also has limitations na for other people na may boundary din yung mga toxic na tao sa buhay natin. But at the same time, we always try to still show love and kindness to everyone, diba? But if this person talaga is just too toxic for you, it's okay. And ano na lang, like,
Ano
he
mo na,
will have his own
kaya mo
growth process. You will have your own growth process, but make sure that your heart, your mind is focused on on
being better.
being better. Yes,
Mhm.
and helping yourself heal and
And
helping yourself love yourself.
and knowing what you deserve and knowing what your value is.
Yeah.
I think ano na yun eh, parang knowing how to love yourself na yun eh.
Yeah.
'Di ba? So
Yeah.
important na rin. Important yun.
Yes.
Yeah, but how will you know? Like, for example, Morrie coming from a very sad childhood.
Oo.
I'm like, what if a person comes from a very hard childhood? Like how did Morrie, get to be who he was?
Because he
Coming from
knows
where
all
he
those emotions. He probably felt all those emotions when he was a
I
kid with all those parang uh, parang negative yung background niya, how he was treated and all that. Just observing and absorbing and processing all those emotions growing up. He probably learned how which one he wants to truly let go, which one will truly help him. But it takes a lot of self-awareness and an
Yeah.
intention to really grow.
I think part of it too is like two things. He mentioned a lot of times sa book na parang he longs for motherly touch. 'Di ba? Parang talagang sinabi niya na talagang sinasabi niya, hindi niya ikinahihiya na na nami-miss niya talaga yung nanay niya, yung
Oo.
pag-aalaga sa kanya ng nanay niya. So parang him putting it out there, saying it to the universe na parang sinasabi niya na gusto ko ng nanay. Hanggang sa nagkaroon nga siya ng stepmom and yung mom
Yeah.
niya yun parang
Nagalagaan siya.
magandang
Yeah.
influence sa kanya through education.
I
Kasi
forgot that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
yung mom niya, yung second mom niyang, yung stepmom niyang
Yes. It helped him, no?
really gave importance to education, which I think really helped define his career path to becoming a professor. So at least may nag-guide sa
Yeah.
kanya.
Yes.
So honestly, like when I encounter people,
Mm-mm.
people just really want to be loved. They want to be seen.
They want to be
They
seen. They
want to
want to
be
be
loved.
loved.
They want to be seen. They want to be noticed.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes it's so hard to give that attention to people you encounter. But I make an effort to really ask them, what is it that we can do for you, or what is it that you need right now? How can I make you more comfortable? So it's so. Tayo din, we have to be careful in how we talk to people, because if they're not being kind to us, I think the best thing really is don't return it with anger, don't return it with hate, but just be okay, thank you, but God bless, and then go on your way. Because if you return the hatred, the anger, you return it back to them, they'll just receive it and then give it the anger to another person. It's like pay
Yeah,
it
but
forward.
yung taong aware would just not give it to
Yeah.
another person. Are you get what I mean?
But we also have to watch how we interact with other people as well. Because I know the three of us, we're strong women. We're
Yeah.
very grounded. We know who we are. We love ourselves. But we are out into the world, and
Yeah,
we encounter so many different kinds of people.
Yes.
And I think it's just very important to just show to be kind to other people. to pay it forward. And I think showing one act of kindness to somebody, it will ripple. It has a ripple effect.
Yeah.
You make them feel good about themselves. Maybe later on they won't shout at their spouse. They won't be as cranky, or they won't lash onto their kids. You never know what people are going through.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's very important to
Kaya
just
love is the only
enjoy.
rational act, sabi nga ni Morrie. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we just have to just
Just aware lang tayo to help
aware.
ourselves
Yeah.
also. There's this part on the book which I really remembered because I wrote this song while I was still at this band that I was in before. And I wrote this lyrics that says, "But I'm not just a wave, I'm part of the sea, and
Yeah.
I choose not to drown." You know? Because doon ko na-realize, oh my gosh, dito ko pala hinambing yung thought ko na yun. Dun sa parts of Tuesdays with Morrie about the waves. Because this is one of my favorite parts. Let me share it. Yung waves, the first wave was like, shit, waves lang tayo. We're gonna crash on that rock once we get to the shore. And we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Yun lang. Ganun lang tayo. Tapos sabi ng second wave, dude, we're not just waves. We're part
We're
of
the
the
ocean.
ocean, We're going
Yeah.
back to where we belong, something like that. That realization is also a good lesson for everyone when it comes to feeling you feel like parang masyado kang down. Because just remember that even when someone dies or when you have something that you want to let go of, um, just knowing that we're constantly like waves, we always, it's like a stop renew. Um,
Yeah.
you get what I mean? Our
Balance
lives,
right back.
yes, yeah, umiikot din siya na we stop, we go back to the ocean, and same thing with everything else. That's why rest. You can i-relate mo yung pagka-crash mo sa sa shore na naging part ka na ng ocean to rest, 'di ba? Because you need that too. You need that too. And then you go again, you become a wave
Yeah.
again, you soar life, and something like that.
Ako naman, when I read that, a part of me realized that the world doesn't revolve around me.
Yes, you're never alone. You're just part of that. You're just part
Yeah,
of the ocean.
honestly, if you look at our whole life, my problem at this point right now is just a second compared to our whole life. So it gives me a better perspective. Is it right for me na tutuunan ko ng pansin tong maliit na problemang to?
Yeah.
Na if you look in the perspective of your life, it's just a little speck. It's just a little second.
Then
So is
spend
it
time
really
on it
worth
on just a
stressing
little
about?
second.
Yeah, is it really worth stressing about?
Yeah.
Absorb it and let it go.
Wait,
Don't worry.
yung wave na part na yan, hindi ko patapos yan sa book.
Oh my gosh. But you read that part. It's almost at the end nga.
From what
Beautiful.
I'm
Chunky mo na,
pero
guys.
naiintindihan ko yung sinasabi ninyo na
There's so much lesson to that story, no? Parang ganon.
na parang okay, itong worth ba tong iniisip ko ngayon? Kailangan ko bang pag-isipan to? Will it matter in the next 5 years? Will it even matter tomorrow or next week? So, ako minsan kapag naiinis ako, talagang inis na inis ako. Talagang hayain ko sarili kong mainis hanggang sa pagod na akong mainis.
Yeah.
Sounds like binge eating.
Oo. Alam niyo, okay, share ko lang ha. Mag-share lang ako ng 2 things. Like for example, ako kasi favorite hobby ko sa bahay, magplancha o kaya maglaba. So,
Buti ka pa?
yan talaga yung hilig ko. Kasi parang, alam mo yun, nawawala ako sa, hindi ko
Nakaka-focus ka lang sa
Si
chores.
Julie mahilig magtupi.
Ako rin. Nanonood pa ako ng Hulu, Netflix, whatever show.
Kasi dito sa apartment namin, yung laundry nasa basement. So, alam mo yun na parang one time na parang lungkot na lungkot ako. Sabi ko, ay nako, ayoko ng ganitong feeling. Makapaglaba nga. Eh alam ko, maglalaba ako, isosort ko yung white sa colored, and then mag-elevator ako, 3 yung basket mo. Imagine, 5'4" lang ako, tapos ang dami kong dala-dala. So, di ba parang very physically draining na siya. So,
But at least you're choosing your energy na maging productive ka na lang kaysa mas ganyan-ganyan ka, di ba?
Exactly.
So,
tapos, yun nga, hanggang sa nawala na, hanggang hindi ko na napansin na, ay, nainis pala ako kanina. So,
you're choosing your energy, which is
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Tapos yung pangalawa naman is, this was yesterday. So, nasa mall ako, ganyan, may pupuntahan ako. Na malungkot yung feeling ko kahapon. Kasi tas parang iniisip ko pa rin yung ginawa ko ng audition. Dapat hindi ko sinabi yun. Dapat hindi ko ginawa yun. So, alam mo yun, parang nag-replay. Tapos sinabi ko na lang kay God na parang, God, ayoko na mag-isip. Nakakapagod mag-isip.
Tapos, part of you letting it go.
Tapos parang may nakita akong kalapate sa may bandang BART station. Tinignan ko lang, naku, baka sabihin ng mga tao, loka-loka ako. Pero tinignan ko lang yung kalapate. Nakita ko siya, para siyang nadudulas. Natawa na ako.
Kasi nga, you're paying attention to what's around you, and paying attention helps you be thankful in life.
Yun na. So, I guess that could be like an example na kapag pag-aware ka na nakaka-distract na yung emotions mo on your everyday functioning self, i-divert mo na yung sarili mo sa ibang bagay.
Yes. Actually, can we read this question by Louis? Which is really good. Every time you get upset of something, ask yourself, if you were to die tomorrow, was it worth wasting your time being angry? Di ba? So, tama naman din na, yun nga, with that realization, you've recognized the emotion already, then maybe it's time to let it go na, di ba? So when it arises again, at least you know how to let it go again. You know? Yeah.
Wala lang.
And guys, when it comes to ALS, na sakit ni Morrie, ang cannabis ay nakakatulong sa mga symptoms of ALS.
Yes.
And I want to discuss that because we are also letting you know na 40 days na lang voting sa Pinas registration. Am I correct?
Yes. Because so September 30 is the deadline for voter registration. Kaya pumunta kayo sa barangay niyo at magparehistro na kayo, please.
Magparehistro kayo dahil meron pong medical cannabis party for elections 2022. I-check niyo po yun sa ballot dahil gamot po ang cannabis. At ipapakita rin po namin yung studies na naganap na dito at sa mga bansang legal ang cannabis with regards to ALS. Dahil again, ang ALS is pinaparalyze niya yung katawan mo from the feet all the way up until it reaches your lung, na yung lung mo, kung lahat ng muscles wala na, dead na, yung lung mo titigil na lang. Doon ka mamamatay, choking. So, ALS. And I'll show this, guys, to emphasize on that. Here's a study.
Tsaka masakit din siya.
Yes, masakit siya. Marami kang muscle pain na mararamdaman with ALS. So, let me just forward it here. What we currently know, ALS and cannabis. Although kulang pa kasi yung studies na there's no exact studies that cannabis can cure ALS. Wala namang ganong findings. But with the symptoms of ALS, when it comes to THC and CBD as part of it, yes. So, yung mga nerve cell, following the nerve cell injuries like those with ALS, these vital components of cannabis protect and prolong the lives of treated motor neurons. So, meron pa siyang studies. I'll show this other one also. Let me just put this here. Can you see this one? Is it? Yes. So with this one, medical marijuana offers relief from neurological symptoms, including muscle spasms, seizure, and involuntary movements. ALS patients report easier breathing, reduced salivation, and less pain, along with improvement in mood and more regular sleep
Yes,
patterns.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, ang dami niyang natutulong. Kasi yung symptoms ng ALS, fatigue, muscle weakness, pain, speech impairment, stiff muscles, yan, natutulungan po yan ng cannabis. And of course, sa Pilipinas, I'm pretty sure marami ang makaka-benefit sa cannabis once medical cannabis is out there, safe, legal, affordable access, and fair regulations for cannabis once
Oh, I got a
established yun.
special delivery.
Yes. So, thank you sa inyo guys. Sabi ni, nahingal eh, no? Sabi ni Ate Marte, support MedCan Party 2022.
Thank
Yes,
you.
check out their Facebook and let me also share this. Sky, kwento ka naman habang hinahanap ko to with regards to your
Yeah.
patients at work and how cannabis has been helping them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yun nga, just going back to the article, cannabis, let's not get things confused here. Ang cannabis po ay hindi cure po sa ALS. Ito lang po ay yung
To the symptoms.
tinutulungan lang yung pasyente na mabawasan yung mga sintomas nito. Okay? And it gives them a better quality of life. I think yun talaga ang pinaka-focus. As I know Pau also is on the same page with this, with hospice and palliative care. I think yung pinaka-importante is letting the patient be comfortable. And in the book, Morrie mentioned that he takes Ativan for his anxiety. Nabasa niyo ba yun? So he takes medication for that. And we could substitute big pharma for cannabis because in some form you get anxious, like hindi ka makagalaw, hindi ka makahinga, so nakakataas talaga ng anxiety yon. And with the use of cannabis, we can medical cannabis, pwede naman siyang if they're unable to inhale it, di ba nga yung kasi mahina na yung lungs nila, may options din tayo for medical consumption like oral. That's another way, or topical.
Yes.
Other ways to also use cannabis
Yes,
in our
hindi lang naman siya yung sinusmoke. Ang daming
Yes.
usage and different din yung approach nito sa katawan natin. And alam nyo, na-mention din pala sa book na si Morrie is big on mental health. Am I correct? And he did work at a mental health facility at some point. Na-relate ko lang kasi, Pao, you also experienced that, right? You kind of work with parang sa isang facility, correct? Can you share them naman your experience with that?
Yeah, yung I was an intern kasi graduating na ako from college noon. So 1 year ako nag-internship dito sa San Francisco sa Sheriff's Department. So it's only for kulungan siya ng mga babae dito sa San Francisco. It was very intense yung mga clients ko noon kasi within 24 hours lang sila na incarcerate. So most of them were very still high with the drugs that they took, or yung iba parang domestic violence yung nangyari. So very fresh pa yung mga bruises nila. Yun, so tapos ano siya, yung work setting doon is very stressful.
Yes.
Lahat ng mga tao doon talagang, yung mga inmates na nandun, gusto nilang may kausap.
Yeah, they want to feel, kasi si Morrie, he really emphasized that when he was working at a mental health facility, he noticed that people really want to feel that they mattered.
Yeah.
And I hope also, just relating this to the medical cannabis movement, let's make the people feel, the ones who are sick in the Philippines, the ones who really need the medicine, let's make them feel mattered, and we really mean it from our hearts, that we also do our parts and register to vote for MedCan 2022. And I hope na malagana po yan sa lahat. And cannabis not only helps with medical patients, even the ones who have yung sa mental health po, dito rin po na-apply na rin po ang cannabis as part of therapy. So I just want to emphasize on that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kasi importante talaga sa mga tao who are experiencing mental health, who are struggling with their mental health, um, kailangan talaga nila ng kausap. You don't need to talk.
Yeah.
Gusto lang nila ng may makita na isang tao na nilalabas nila yung mga
Yes.
sama ng loob nila. You just have to listen. You don't need to comment on anything. Kasi gusto talaga nila ng ng maraming reassurance na may nakikinig sa kanila and someone could actually see them.
So I'm just gonna do just a shameless plug on my occupation.
Yes.
So I'm an occupational therapist by profession. A lot of people don't really know what OT is. They're like, "What's OT? Is it PT? Is it speech therapy? Like, what do you guys do? What does occupational therapy mean? Are you gonna give me a job? I'm retired." And occupational therapy really would have helped Morrie in a sense with his functional capabilities. But besides that, for example, an OT, when a person gets ill or has a disease, they lose their capabilities to walk, correct?
Yes.
Or they lose function.
Paralyzed na.
So what occupational therapy does, actually, we make things easier for the patient, helping them adapt to the new capabilities.
Okay.
Because they're not disabled, they're just differently abled. So Morrie was still Morrie, but he was just unable to walk. He was just unable to wipe his bottom. He's not disabled, he just functions differently. So for occupational therapy, we actually help them ease that process. We allow them to be as independent they are as possible and would provide with the quality of life. For me, I try to make my patients feel may dignidad pa sila, especially sa hospital.
Yeah.
Na, alam mo yung mga gowns nila, kita yung puwet nila, alam mo yun, hindi sila makapunta sa CR, kailangan pa ng tulong maghugas and everything. So, I think giving the patient dignity, yung kanilang dignidad, napaka-importante yun sa isang tao na irespeto mo sila, na kahit nasa ospital sila, you close the door when they're in the restroom, you draw the curtains when they're doing something in private, allow them to feel that tao pa din sila. Alam mo yun, na kahit may sakit sila, hindi, personhood, na control pa rin ako sa buhay ko, I'm still in control in my life. And and for me, when I enter into a patient's room, mga nurses always say, work your magic. That's what they say. Okay, work your magic in there.
That's the magic.
Yung mga patients na very difficult, yung nagre-refuse ng meds, nagre-refuse, gusto na umalis, gusto na lang manapak ng nurse. Akong papasok. I'll go in the room and I'll sit down right there and I'll say, "Hey, what's up? Why do you I ask them first, are you gonna hit me?" That's the first question I ask. They say, "No." Okay, we can talk.
You have to make sure of your safety.
Yeah, for sure. I have to be also safe. But these people, and then they tell all their problems, why they want to leave, what's bothering them, why are they rejecting their medications. I get to know the information. I sit with them. And I know what's going on in their heads. I go what's in their spirit. I ask about their daily routines. I ask them, how often do you shower? What do you eat for breakfast? These little things, because these little things tell me about this person's overall health. And as an occupational therapist, I don't look at physical health only. I don't look at mental health. I look at the person as a whole.
Yes.
Yeah, so yun lang. Parang, that's why at the end of the day, pagod na pagod ako at the end of the day, because I give so much of myself by...
And you absorb so much energy.
Absorbing so much information, so much hurt, so much, anger and loss of function, loss of quality of life. And I have to keep a good face. Like, okay, I know you're going through something, but let's move forward. Let's see what you can do moving forward. So that's why rest is very important to me, because it helps me recharge.
Yeah.
And honestly, cannabis is also very important to me as well. So I know I would say I'm a pretty responsible cannabis user.
Pretty responsible.
Diba? We have to be responsible. Talagang I have a full-time job. I'm responsible. All my bills are paid. I have a roof under my head. But I am a stoner. Okay, let's just put it that way. I smoke cannabis on a daily basis. It helps me relax, and it helps me become a better person.
Yes,
Honestly, it
yes,
makes me more
I
meditative.
agree.
So yeah, and I think we have to also break the stereotype of cannabis users, right, Ate
Uh,
Julie?
Of course. Kasi guys, ano ba yung mga iniisip niyo na patapon yung buhay? Saan ba kayo? Ano pa yan? Reefer Madness was a long, long time ago. Marami na pong na-prove na facts. And also, ang
Yes.
dami po dito. Hindi nyo akalain, neighbors, friends, workmates, clients, lahat-lahat ng iba't ibang klase, may mga gumagamit ng cannabis do'n. And you know na sa pagdadala po ng tao yan, may mga
That's right.
gumagamit rin ng cannabis na napakasama rin ng utak. Pero boundary na lang, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So nasa tao pa rin po yan,
Sa
hindi po
tao pa din.
yeah, break the stereotypes. Cannabis doesn't make you crazy. Okay?
Doesn't make you a bad
It
person, doesn't
doesn't
make you
make you a bad
violent.
person, doesn't make you violent. But ultimately, if you want to choose that energy, you want to be a violent person, you want to pour your energy on that, then you will be one.
Yeah.
But cannabis has nothing to do with that. That's all on you. Okay? So, kami, gusto nga namin, like with Tuesdays with Morrie, what a wonderful book that is, na-remind kami on what we also want to focus on, the values that we want to continue honing, the things that we need to let go of, and all that. So, it's a
yeah.
very good book. We recommend, again, to end our show, we recommend again Tuesdays with Morrie. It's a very, very good book by Mitch
Yeah.
Albom. Mitch Albom is a very, very good author. Meron din po siyang Five People You Meet in Heaven na book, which is really good. But yeah, get this one. Death will teach you how to live. If you know death, you know
Yeah.
how to live.
So
So,
yeah, I think an advice lang when you're reading
Yeah.
this, yung when you read the book,
yeah.
wag niyong madaliin.
Yeah, absorb it.
Yeah, like kasi napakaiksi lang talaga siya, totoo lang. And it's not a heavy read because it's just the book is just very conversational.
Yeah, madaling basahin.
Madaling basahin lang siya. So when you read this book, you have to be in a state of accepting to hear something new.
Yeah.
You know, to have an expectant heart na, you know, to see the good side of life. You know, if you're in a very bad, if you're a very sad place in your life, this book might help you have another perspective on how to live life.
Kumbaga,
Yeah.
you know, the material things, they're not gonna satisfy you fully. You know, love, compassion, empathy, those are the things that satisfies us as human beings. How we connect to others, how others love us, how we love other people. You know, and to know that we are going to die, to know that that is normal, we are going to die. It helps us prepare for it anytime, diba?
Yeah.
So at least we don't know. Live your life the best that you can, don't hurt people, you know.
Yeah.
And
So
Gusto ko lang i-add one thought na doon din sa book na to ni Tuesday, dito sa book na to ng Tuesdays with Morrie, there was one point when si Mitch he was massaging Morrie's feet.
oh, yeah.
And hindi na kasi kaya ni Morrie i-wiggle yung toes niya. So
yeah,
imagine ikaw lagi kang naglalakad, lagi kang bad trip, lagi kang imagine niyo yung sarili niyo na maski yung pag-move ng toes niyo, hindi niyo na magawa. Pero itong taong to, hindi na niya ma-move yung toes niya, pero masayahin pa rin siya. So because
perception.
so parang
Buhay.
yun yung magandang yun yung actually na pinaka nagustuhan ko sa story na to, na even the most tiniest thing that you could actually recognize on your everyday life could actually parang mag-a-add yun sa joy sa spirit mo.
Yes, that's true.
And I think one more.
Yes,
I
yeah,
think
go ahead.
just I think for me, since the
Yeah,
best
we're
part of
wrapping up,
this book for me is about forgiveness. He actually talked about forgiveness here. I quote, "Forgive yourself before you die, then forgive others."
Yeah.
So it's so alam mo yun, when you say forgive yourself, it's just how do you forgive yourself? What do you forgive yourself for? But you realize like a lot of the negative things in your life is because you haven't forgiven yourself for the things you've done in the past. So yeah, I think it's also a process. This is also the process of moving on. No, moving forward
Yeah.
is forgiving yourself. And like yung story, the reason why na na talk about yung forgiveness. Kasi yung brother ni Mitch,
Yes.
may
Oo,
sakit din, di ba? May
yeah.
sakit siya and ayaw
Depression
niyang
at the
makipag-usap
moment.
sa pamilya niya.
Mm-mm.
So Morrie said, respect how he wants to live. And we have to respect people also. I think yun lang. Like, we can't really help people who don't want to be helped. And we have to respect how they want to live. So
Yeah.
I think in perspective, we just have to respect how I want to live, respect
Yeah.
how you want to live, and let's have an open mind.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
diba?
And also this book, since it's about really a dying man, death changes you in a sense that it strips away all the stuff and it makes you focus on the important things. All the stuff that's not important, diba, it kind of strips it away. Pag alam mong mamatay ka na, you focus on what's important. But not a lot of people realize that we can die anytime. You know, people think that we have so much time, we're always in a hurry and all that. But always remember na, appreciate the present, di ba? Uh, pay attention, be attentive to and be present to whoever
Yeah,
you're with, whatever you're doing, and look at look at it so much na you'll find joy on what you're doing, di ba?
Yeah.
Yeah, yun naman.
find joy. Totoo
Find
yan. Kahit sa magtututbrush ko, I find joy in brushing my teeth. I find joy in doing the mundane things in life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting ready for work.
Buhay kapag ganun.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. And we're wrapping up our first
Want to
book
see the last
review.
comments?
Yes. And let me check the last comments. Thank you, Sky, for reminding. RJ asks, forgive yourself. Pero forgive somebody medyo complicated. You also, minsan kasi ang forgiveness, it's more like you're letting of that anger go away na, let it go because it's also harming you, sakit sa ulo, laging galit.
Yeah.
So, minsan nakakagalit, okay lang, absorb mo, recognize it, then let it go. Parang ano rin. Kasi it's for you din. Yun lang rin. J Reviews, psilocybin can help you face yourself and everything.
That's right.
Yeah, nakita ko ang ganda ng kulay ng mundo. And then, si Bren. Hi, Bren! I just met you kanina. Hi! Hi, Miss Julie and company. More power. Salute. Thank you, Bren.
Salamat.
Hello.
Maybe this is a different Bren. Ay, iba palang Bren to. So, hi, Bren. Yes. And then, sabi ni George, maraming tao na normal pero di masaya. Pero si Morrie na paralyzed, masaya. Kung ano man ang kalbaryo
nangyayari sa kanya araw-araw.
Yeah, you're right.
That's right.
Even if he faces difficulties in life, diba, he knows how to find joy and
That's right.
yeah.
Mm.
Find joy in everything.
Yes.
Kalapate. Observe nyo kalapate.
Yes. Oh my gosh, minsan ako nag-observe ako ng mga puno, yung mga dahon ng puno. It's just, oh my God, iba-iba talaga sila. Ang galing. Ang galing ng creator ng mundo.
Diba? Walang, okay.
Yeah. Let's go for legalization. Ate Martina, thank you. And then, yun naman guys, we're gonna end na. Is it okay to end it? Thank you so much. Thank you. We really appreciate you being here. And thank you, Paula and Sky, na miss ko kayo.
Yeah, next month ulit.
Yes, we'll have a new book next month. We're not gonna do the weekly live as for now. We're doing our book review once a month. So next book will be, Sky, can you introduce the next book?
So our next book will be not a lighter read. It's still gonna be pretty heavy.
Yes.
Hope for the Flowers po ang napili kong book. So ano po siya? It's my childhood. It's a childhood book. It's an illustrated book. So wag po kayong don't be deceived by the look of this book because it really will hit hard home.
Yes.
And we'll talk about it next week. So once a
Right
month
here.
po yung ating review. So this month po for August, nag-Tuesdays with Morrie po tayo. So September po, ano bang day sa September?
Well,
Anyway,
announce it. Yeah.
yeah, mga third week din ng September, like this month, we're gonna have another book review. Hope for the Flowers. Sana you can pick up a book so you know you can follow along then, like today.
Yes. And thank you pala, Hustle and Provide. Thank you from the Bay Area yon. So thank you guys. And yeah, ang cute nga eh. It's comfy, good Hustle and Provide by Facebook sila. But thank you and we'll see you again. And by the way, last na, still worth watching, Louie. Oh, thank you. And
yeah, kaya magparehistro na kayo guys ha. Please register to be a voter in the Philippines. September 30 na po ang deadline natin. So please register to be a voter. And we support MedCan 2022.
Let me show, Actually, we showed it kanina, but yes, Medical Cannabis
One more
Party.
time. We'll just show that one more time.
Okay? And then we'll discuss yung comment na yan para kay Paula. But here is it. Yan, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, we can. 2022.
Yes, we
MedCan, Medical Cannabis Party List for the Philippines. Pakisearch po yan. And also, alisin ko po yung comment na yan. But, that's a funny way to end the show. Thank you sa comment na yan. Hindi ko siya maalis.
Well, yan. So, please vote to be a registered voter by September 30. And nasa ballot po yung MedCan for legalization of medical cannabis in the Philippines.
September 30, 2021. Claro.
Yes,
ngayon yung deadline ng registration to vote.
Ilang araw na lang yun, guys.
And by the way, Paula, para sa iyo yung comment na yan.
Salamat, George.
Pagbamasdan niya talaga pag nadulas. I think ako din.
Tingnan niyo. Ang cute lang ng mga paa nila. Gano'n talaga.
Alright, thank you. Alright,
guys.
Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next month. Ingat.
Saturday, 6 p.m.
Be safe and be responsible.